Welcome, one and all, to Flavored Enemy Myth, Magic, and Might. This is going to be a new bi-weekly campaign under the Flavored Enemy banner, starring our lovely heroes that we've assembled here in a brand new world created by me, the other DM, the not Arios one. That one.
the not Arios DM, because that narrows it down in this server.
It narrows it down.
Yeah, that really narrows it down.
By at least one. Or okay.
That is statistically true.
All right. So we take you now to the world of Geb. The world of Geb was similar in some ways to Vitore and in many other fantasy worlds you might have been to. The world of Geb was filled with magic and wonder, powerful wizards, dimensional travelers, floating cities, and arcane marvels, the likes of which had never been seen before. 100 years ago, they enjoyed the Age of Magic. But the tumultuous trickster god Wick stole all of the magic and enchantments of the mortal world and sealed them away in various locations across the globe. Ancient tombs, forgotten temples, sinister lairs, and monstrous strongholds, all collectively referred to as dungeons, for now they each hold magic itself as their prisoner. Magically hidden by the trickster god, very few of these dungeons have ever been found, and of all the heroes brave enough to venture into them, none have returned. As the Age of Magic came to an end, one man, Emperor Tarquinius Superbos Valerion, defined the new era of this world. He expanded the once relatively peaceful Valerian kingdom into the unstoppable Valerian Empire. With steam-powered machines of war and gunpowder weapons, with blood and tears, Lord Tarquin has conquered more land than could be traveled in a year, and amassed more wealth than could be spent in a lifetime. He has defined this century as the Age of Might. But there are rumors, whispered through the air with a hope so fragile it break if spoken aloud. Magic. And so we make our way through the clear summer night, or close to it anyway. The stars are bright and beautiful. The air is still warm but slowly cooling. To the town of Autumn Hollow. It is the first of the month of strength, the last month of the year. The last month of summer, anyway. And the town of Autumn Hollow is celebrating its annual harvest festival. Autumn Hollow has always been a very provincial town, kind of tucked away in the bend and crooks of a river, not too far away, and is so named for the unusual plants and trees that seem to be perpetually in their fall colors, no matter what the season. Almost as if time doesn't really move. And we go past the excitement for just a little bit to a little out-of-the-way house. Almost a hut, you would call it, near the almost at the outskirts of town, with a small friendly garden, and what looks like a large object hidden under multiple tarps crashed through it, and two figures we see at what we slowly zoom in to find is the hull of a ship. We see Lana Hearthsong. Would you introduce yourself and describe your character?
Yes. Lana is Well, when you first see me, you'll notice immediately the ears and tail. I have sort of this orange fur tail with like a cream furred tip at the tip of it, um, and out of my red hair, I also have uh, two fox ears poking out. As Lana is a very proud um, kitsune, um, wearing uh, uh, strong armor, carrying a assortment of axes for combat, and a holy symbol emblem on my breastplate and on my pauldrons of a phoenix. I am.
No, continue.
No, that was it.
Okay.
Sorry, that was just
No,
a
no.
noise coming in with it.
All right. Lana, you find yourself with your fellow crewmate Gilgamesh, a young Therum man. For those of you unfamiliar with Vittore and Flavored Enemy, you should watch that. But also, Therum are sort of phoenix humanoids. Gilgamesh in particular has this gold and red coloration to the feathers that streak all across his arms and a little bit through his and he has these like softer, curlier feathers that almost look like hair from a distance on his head. He has this sort of dark, almost like cocoa-colored complexion, and these golden eyes. The two of you have been working hard on fixing the ship all day. Gilgamesh thankfully has a little bit of his magic with him, but it is severely weakened, and you also find that what magic you had is also severely limited compared to what you had before, as neither of you are native to this world, and the ship that you are currently fixing is not a boat. It is a sky ship, a spaceship that you crash landed here about a month or two ago. What do you think Lana is doing to help fix the ship?
I suppose I'm not particularly a craftswoman. I have a sort of I'm good with my repairing my weapons and gear, so I would probably spend whatever sort of hammering or smithing I could do, as well as making sure everyone is well fed.
Yeah. You know that if you don't interrupt Gilgamesh working, he will forget to feed himself.
Certainly. And I do make a point of making sure that the last surviving member of the captain's crew, besides myself, does do exactly that. Eat.
Thank you, Lana. Is it dinner time already?
Yes, and you've got to keep your strength up, kid.
Thank you, Lana. You're wonderful. It's just.
So, how long do you think she'll take?
Well, to be honest, I'm not necessarily a craftsman myself. My magic is really the thing that helps me fix this ship at all, but even then, it's kind of slow going. Our carpenter, unfortunately, was,
Yeah, we know. The captain and I will have to try to find something in this world bereft of magic and surrounded by shadow. Something to repair the ship, because I don't suppose we recovered everything.
No, I suppose not. He Gilgamesh takes a moment to just kind of look up at the stars, and his eyes drift over towards the town, which even from a distance you can see there's lights on in the town, and everyone's like busy setting stuff up. And then you hear the door to this hut swing open, and you see a rabbit folk man, about 4'5", 4'10", with his ears up. Though they usually kind of trail behind his head, like the tails of a comet. He's an older rabbit folk, kind of in his looks to be in his like 60s. Has mostly gray fur and like a white fur on his chin and neck and stomach. You know this man to be Ryder Burrows. He's the owner of this small house, and he was the owner of a lovely pumpkin patch before your ship crashed into it and completely destroyed it. He's been kind enough to let you and your captain stay here while you've been while you've been getting your bearings, and he's also been kind enough to kind of tell you for general thing you want about the world that he can tell you. He comes out and he says, Lana, your captain's awake again.
How long has the captain been out?
He's been your captain has been falling in and out of consciousness every few days. But it's been like 2 days since he was last conscious.
I'll make my way inside the hovel.
Okay. And as we come inside the hovel, little rude. You come inside his little house, and lying on a bed that had been pulled out in the back, Aiden Alexander. Aiden, would you describe yourself for the lovely audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Hayden Alexander hails from the lovely land of Vittore. He's got intense red hair and emerald eyes, and skin that has been kissed by the sun. For although he typically spends his days inside, he's quite known for getting up to some activities out of doors. Typically, Hayden wears a sleeveless blue tunic with a brownish-gray jacket, although after the crashing of our wonderful ship, that jacket is in tatters.
Yes, certainly. You also find that while most of your physical injuries have healed, there is something very a strange injury that you have never seen or heard of before on your person, in that over mainly your chest and on your arms there is this strange iridescent marks that almost look like they're over top of your skin, but they're definitely on it, and they have this strange pattern, like a cross between wildfire and like lightning scars, just all surrounding your chest and in your arms. They're almost, you understand that these injuries are things that you sustained when you expended your magic to save yourself and your crew upon your crash landing. And honestly, like, these strange injuries you've never seen before have been have been sort of your biggest block on the road to recovery because you're not entirely sure how to treat them. And also, you, upon waking up, you realize you are very, very thirsty. Like, you need a bucket of water now.
Damn, I need a drink. My mouth is drier than the desert. Is there any water in sight that I could maybe plunge my entire face in?
You see Ryder Burrows, the man who's been helping you and helping tend to you, walk into the room with a bucket of water he just drew from his well. Here.
Oh, thank you. And I'm going to literally stick my entire face in the bucket of water and drink from it.
Oh boy, you weren't kidding. And Lana comes in not behind Ryder, not.
Captain, how are you feeling?
I'm gonna hold the bucket with one hand and lift up a finger in the general direction of Lana's voice. And then after a moment, I'm gonna come up for air, take a big gasp. Well, after all that water, I am feeling a little bit better. What day is it?
That would be...
It's...
What day is it?
Saturday?
I believe they call it, Saturday here.
Saturday.
It's like, the day after 2 days after Tommen Day.
2 days past Tommen Day?
I think I was barely learning the, calendar on Vittore before we took off, so...
I don't recall any of our days being named Saturday.
No.
No.
I remember
Ryder speaks up. That's sort of our calendar system. It's...
Yeah, no, this...
I'm honestly not sure where the days for the days of the names for the days of the week come from. He kind of shrugs. I'm not a historian.
I'm sure you could come up with a catchy tune to remember them all.
Perhaps.
We've made a little progress. I should say Gilgamesh has made a little progress on what's left of the ship. Emphasis on little.
Ah, right. The ship. Gil, he's recovered well, I take it.
Oh, only because I have to keep reminding him to eat. But yes.
Yes, of course. And how are you holding up, Lana?
The Dawn Mistress smiles upon me, even here. I'm, not, I feel a bit distant, a bit disconnected, but, I still have my vigor.
Good.
Well, it's great that you're making a recovery, though, man, these scars, I've never seen their like before.
Have I seen these scars on him before, or are these new developments since him waking up this time?
He's had them since the incident where he expended his magic, but you've never seen... I doubt you've ever seen anyone with these kinds of wounds before.
Well, yeah. I was just wondering if this is my first time seeing Hayden with these wounds.
No,
I've seen Hayden.
No,
I've
you've
seen
seen
Hayden
him with
these
these wounds. I was a field medic in my time, but obviously I've never seen anything like this.
If all the are there any historians or academics of the lost arts of magic of your world that we could find maybe in a capital city somewhere that we could go to
Actually,
have this investigated?
Maybe not. Maybe I.
Maybe.
I volunteer at one of the local doctor's offices, and one of the patients recovering there is an archaeologist of some sort. But I can't say for sure if they'd know, and I'm not really sure if that breaks, doctor-patient confidentiality or something. But it's possible they might be able to help you.
We can say we forced the information out of you.
Right. And at that point, you hear a knock on his door. And two figures are currently standing. Well, I should say three figures are currently standing outside Ryder's house. The one knocking on the door is Priscilla. Would you describe yourself to the audience?
Yeah. I'm Priscilla Ciopenes. I'm a tiefling, so not exactly a normal sight around these parts. I have this cool purplish brown skin that's very cool and rich. Just long black hair that kind of tapers into a lighter lilac purple. I have pointed ears similar to an elf, and these bright orange pupilless eyes. I'm wearing my armor. It's kind of worn and a little bit beaten down. Definitely seen a little bit too much action. And I have my glaive on my back, and hell, that's seen a little bit more. Rather tall, about 5'10", and I look kind of over the road, but also cool, calm, and collected. Like this is just another day, and nothing can really surprise me.
Well, one thing that has not necessarily surprised you, but seems odd, is there appears to be a large, weirdly shapen boulder over where you could have sworn Ryder had a pumpkin patch. You're not sure why it's there, which is weird.
Can I make a history check? Can I make a history check to see if it's goblin made?
The boulder? Okay, yes. Yeah. Go ahead and roll a history check with advantage.
All I want to know if it's goblin made.
As I greet these people at the door.
Yes, the other figure standing just behind them, or I should specify while you're rolling that check, Priscilla, you're heading to Autumn Hollow mostly for the tournament that's supposed to be held here that Jason told you about. You've been to Autumn Hollow a few times before, and for most of the time you stayed and trained with Ryder, because he used to be a soldier in his younger days, and he taught you the fine arts of fighting with a shield and hammer. You yourself don't necessarily use those weapons, but what he's taught you is still an invaluable skill. And you know that, like, he's always, hospitable and has a few extra beds for you and your friends. And your two friends behind you, one of them is Sister Gialin. Would you describe yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yep.
Sorry, Discord was doing some weird stuff. So, Sister Gialin is this very large minotaur with lots of long, kind of stringy, reddish-brown fur. And it kind of intermingled with the fur, she has braids and beads. She's kind of on the beefier side, pun intended. These huge, long, sharp horns that kind of come off of her head, and they're decorated with gold bands on them. And on the tip of one of them, there's even like a hoop that's kind of drilled in to her horn. She's got these long, loose-fitting robes that just kind of wrap around her comfortably. She has them kind of loosened a little bit because she's used to living in mountains where it's kind of cold and it's very hot here, to her anyways. And she's got gold earrings in her ears that are kind of like spilling out from behind the long hair, that kind of almost covers her eyes. She's got a hoop in her nose, and the hoop in her nose is like hanging to one of the earrings in her ear. And she's like, I don't remember how big I said she was, like how tall I said
probably
she was.
over 10 feet.
Yeah, like she's like 10 or 11 feet tall.
Mhm.
Big chunk.
Big chunk.
And she just kind of like gives a little finger wiggle when the door opens.
And completely obscured by Jialin, there is Jason, the quarter dwarf individual that you guys met while you both worked providing security for a trade caravan. Jason is about 5'1". He has thick, shaggy brown hair, and kind of pointed ears, just kind of sticking out of either side of his head. Carries a hammer on his back. The three of you have decided to stay here and are currently just standing in the doorway of a house that is honestly, Jialin, if you like stood on your tippy hooves, you could probably see over the top of the house. It's a smaller house than you were hoping.
Hey, Ryder.
Okay, I'm
It's
used
a
to
long
sleeping
time.
in the field.
Oh, Priscilla, it's been some time.
It has.
What are he looks over to the rock that you what did you roll on your history check for that, by the way?
That was an
8.
8, by the way.
I mean,
It was-
you know that goblins, when they make rocks, are usually iller formed than this rock.
yeah. This is too much of an artisan rock to be a
Yes.
goblin rock.
Is that rock's our ship, right?
You know that Gilgamesh put up an illusion of a rock over the ship to disguise it.
Do I notice this tiefling individual
Yeah,
looking
you-
at this
I-
rock
I
that I
imagine
know
you
is
would.
an illusion? What you staring at?
Just, it's always best to monitor your surroundings, you know?
Absolutely.
I don't mean to intrude.
y-
I don't know that Ryder was having
yes,
guests.
I have a spare room or two. Just come on in. I'll put on a kettle. And he kind of hops towards the kitchen. Do you enter?
I do.
It is.
I
lovely.
kind of lean my glaive up in the like corner, like near like the
Yeah.
coat rack.
You kind of breathe you kind of breathe deeply, Priscilla, because like Ryder's house has always been like a very comfortable and cozy place, and also like well defendable. You know, lots of clear vantage points to see
Mhm.
approaching dangers. It's definitely not just the cozy vibe slightly mellowing you.
Do they also smell the pumpkin soup that I have
yes,
made?
you do smell pumpkin soup wafting through the air. And
Okay.
Priscilla, your eyes are always drawn over to an artifact of sorts that Ryder owns, which is a picture. You know that like photographs, they were a magical technology that don't exist anymore. Ryder has a photograph from back when he was 18 years old, taken along with his military unit. You can see a younger, taller Ryder standing and like kind of shoving the person next to him as like someone else puts him in a headlock, and they all look like they're laughing and having a good time. Just Ryder among his unit a long time ago. Over 100 years old, actually. It's probably like the one thing Ryder truly values as far as a possession goes.
So, Ryder, I suppose you're not going to be entering into the tournament.
An an old rabbit like me in a fancy tournament like that.
Well, yeah, I need to make sure I have a chance of winning before I sign up. So
You pay me too much of kindness. He kind of looks over to the shield and hammer that he has over in the corner. Maybe I'm too old to do stuff like that.
I wouldn't count yourself out.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. Plus, gotta have somebody that's gonna potentially take Jialin down, right?
He looks up at Jialin.
What do you think, Jialin? Feel like Ryder Hill be able to knock you down a few pegs.
Yeah, they're switching devices.
They were switching devices real quick.
They will. I'm always happy to teach youngsters a lesson or two.
So I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting. Priscilla kind of stretches out her hand to Lana. I'm Priscilla.
Hi, I'm Lana. And this is Captain Alexander.
I just kind of stay keeping my hand out there waiting for the return handshake.
Is this a custom?
You grab the hand and you shake it. Like
from-
this, and he kind of shows you how to.
My apologies. I'm not exactly from here. Although it is nice to recognize a tiefling. I haven't seen one of you in a very long time. They were plentiful where I'm from, but when I was visiting this place called Vittore, I think I only saw one in the whole world.
Well, I can't say I'm a common sight amongst my kind of people
I will
here,
say,
but
Priscilla.
definitely more than
They
one.
just mentioned other worlds.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna gloss over that.
Ryder kind of turns to you, Hayden, and says, "You can trust Priscilla. Priscilla's they're a little tightly wound, but they're a good person."
So,
Yes, of course.
what's brought you all here?
Oh, just a bit of adventure.
Perhaps they'll have some fun at the festival themselves. Though I hope not the tournament. You do seem a little you do seem a little worse for wear, if you don't mind my saying, Hayden.
Oh, no, not at all. I don't think I'm quite recovered enough for a tournament just yet. Although, maybe a little bit of combat would do me some good, you know?
The captain here risked his own life to save what was left of his crew. It's quite an admirable act of self-sacrifice.
I wish I could have done more.
You're a brave person. All that matters is you did as much as you could. That's more than most people will do.
And I don't think we caught your name as I look to the larger person behind Priscilla.
Is your mic still working, Shannon? or-
I can't.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. I missed so much. I'm so sorry, guys. My computer started wigging out, and then my headphones wouldn't pick up me talking on my phone. So I switched to my other computer, and now my headphones aren't working at all.
Oh dear. Are you good
Yeah,
now?
can you hear me? Can you
Well,
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we were just asking you to introduce
To
yourself.
Lana and Hayden.
So,
And
was
Ryder,
was
who
I
you
able
haven't
to
met yet.
fit
It was
inside
one of-
the building
one of-
first and foremost?
It's a little bit of a squeeze, but you can stand inside. You have to kind of bend your head down a little to lean forward.
Okay. She doesn't look like she particularly minds this. As a matter of fact, like if you were to really look at her, when she was standing outside, you might notice that she's kind of a little bit hunchbacked by nature. And you might understand why now. she like looks at them each and she goes, "Am Jialin." Likewise.
Lana, nice to meet you. I suppose that in this land we exchange the
If you'd like.
motion of hands. Lana will awkwardly thrust her hand forward in an attempt to make
Jialin's gonna take her
polite
hand, and
custom.
her hand's fucking massive. It probably consumes all of Lana's hand. And
Sure. I mean, Lana's not a small person, but she's definitely not as big as Gialin.
and she gives her hand like a firm shake, just one single like shake. And then we'll extend her hand to, was the other person Hayden?
Yes.
Hayden.
Hi. Hello. Please, you can all just call me Hayden. Captain isn't quite as fitting now. And please forgive me for not standing up to greet you. I'm not quite feeling my
Seems as though
best
you've had a
just
rough
yet.
trip in.
Yes, you could certainly put it that way.
It's almost as if your world here does not want visitors from the outside.
Jolin, yet your ears perk up at that as well. The not from this world?
Yeah, she like can't really see her raise her eyebrow because it's like under her hair. She makes this like quiet sound that goes with it.
Lana, would you mind?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna motion for Lana to lean in close. I think perhaps it might be best if we don't mention being from another world. We don't know the extent of their space travels. I mean, it's still relatively new for you and I, but still, let's not frighten any of the locals, especially when we can't flee should it be needed.
I hear them.
Oh, I suppose that makes sense.
Roll a perception check. Hayden, were you trying to be stealthy?
Yeah, I think we were trying to whisper to one another.
Yeah, just
I guess
speaking
you guys
softly.
roll stealth, and Jolin will roll perception.
I'm not going to roll a disadvantage because I don't
your
think my armor
would give you
disadvantages me
disadvantage
from
on
whispering.
talking softly. Oh, I wish I could talk. I wish I could talk
rolled a
quieter
dirty
in this
20.
armor.
Said perception, right?
Yes, perception.
I got a 22.
Oh, Hayden. Oh, Hayden.
Well, that beats my stealth.
Hayden,
I
what'd
rolled
you
a dirty
roll?
20.
A 5. I am
You're
so
so outfit.
out of
You
it still
shouting
that I
at
forgot
Lana's
how to be
ear.
quiet.
Captain, if you were trying to keep it on the secret, you would want to talk a little
like-
softer. But I
Oh,
understand.
I'll see
your
like
meaning,
Jalen's eyes, like she just slow squints. Not very good at the whole secret conversation thing. No offense. Space
would-
travel is maybe not that
Yeah.
far
and
out of the
it-
concept, given that we're aware space exists.
Yeah, you know, like, historically those
Yeah.
things have happened, but, like,
Oh, that's what she says.
not in the last
she
100
straight
years.
up says that.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is interesting because I was curious as to your knowledge. You see, where I'm from, none of it exists. We haven't even begun to. We've just barely begun to fly under our own power. Fly airships. I came from where I come from to the world of Vittore by pilgrimage through the Plane of Fire. And then joined the captain on his star-sailing ship to come here. But you know of
I know
this,
that space
at least
exists,
historically?
and that there are theoretically beings out there. Otherwise, we wouldn't have stories of gods.
Oh, Ryder, I picked this up on my travels. I figured it might be helpful for that new batch of mead. She kind of hands Ryder this kind of like little burlap sack filled with the juniper berries and
Should
wildflowers.
be wonderful. I'll store it in the kitchen for now. And then
Sure.
Ryder hears a little bell ring outside. He's like, "Oh, that's the mail." He opens the door and he kind of hops to see a little crow standing on a small perch near like a gate that would be like the to the fence around his home, and the crow is holding a letter just in its beak. He's like, yes, thank you. He takes the letter, and the crow like taps a bucket that's like next to the perch, and he's like, oh, right. He reaches into his pocket, he pulls out a copper coin or a few copper coins and puts them in the bucket, and the crow responds, "Thank you, sir," and picks up the coins and puts them in a little side pouch they have. This is completely normal to you, Priscilla and Jialin.
Getting soft. I think I heard more than one coin hit the bucket
okay.
this time.
He came a long way for one piece of mail.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll be heading out then. And the crow flies away.
Yalin just kind of wiggles her fingers at it before it leaves.
If you need any business, come down to the Dragon Rookery. We deliver all kinds of mail, yada yada yada. I'm too tired to give the corporate spiel. And he just flies away.
Make sure to get some rest on the way back.
I'm almost done with my shift.
Have I encountered talking crows since the month I've been on this planet?
He doesn't have mail delivered to him very often.
I sort of I look from the crow to the rabbit to the minotaur to the tiefling, and just sort of in a circle. Do all the animals speak here?
That would be
Yes,
silly.
again.
What makes you think that?
Right.
Well, I mean, you know, like some are like, influenced by druidic magic, or like, got cursed and turned into animals, or like the descendants of royalty that got cursed and turned into animals. That kind of thing.
I mean, I suppose I can talk in my natural form, but very interesting.
Ryder kind of looks through his letter. He's like, all right. Seems as though it's regarding my patient that I've been helping with. They're just got confirmation from another doctor who, more or less, I'm supposed to be the one to deliver the news that she can leave the hospital. If you'd like to come with me to meet her, I don't suppose there's anything necessarily illegal about that.
You already know
Absolutely.
we've got your back. And she sees that she grabs her, Priscilla grabs her glaive, clamps it onto her back, and looks like she's ready to be ambushed like any second now.
Priscilla, these guests of mine, they've expressed interest in trying to contact someone regarding history to see if they can understand the strange wounds he's come under. He points at Hayden. It would mean a lot to me if you would help these two out. They've been through some rough times. Well, all three of them anyway.
Sure, I can do what I can.
Oh, yeah, I suppose the rest of you
Gilgamesh
haven't
is
met
not in
Gilgamesh. It's the, a sweet young kid, just trying to earn money for school, I suppose, when he got lost with us.
Priscilla, you see outside that, Jason is inspecting the rock closely. You can see him kind of mumbling to himself, this doesn't even really rock. And
That dwarven stone cutting coming into play for the first time ever in the history of D&D.
To which the rock, from the rock, you hear, you, Hayden, hear Gilgamesh's voice reply, "Yes, it is. Go away."
Lana just sort of palms her face and just like shakes her head.
Maybe,
oh dear.
Let's make sure the rock doesn't talk to anybody else.
Alan just kind of like looks at
yes.
Priscilla. She's like, does your teacher have a lot of strange friends?
Usually, yeah. But,
I
a
suppose
good
they'll fit right
good
in
head on
then.
his shoulders, and knows good people when they meet them. Yeah, you will.
So we head off to see this archaeologist patient then. As lovely as this place is, we are eager to get back to our task at hand, which is discovering what has happened to Captain Alexander and...
Sure. Yeah.
Alright, so you guys, you head on out. You see Jason and Gilgamesh, Gilgamesh has actually cast Disguise Self on his person to look more like a human than anything, and he seems to be just kind of arguing with Jason about the details of this rock. It's like, no, it's definitely a rock. Like, see, it's kind of speckled, it has the pattern, and they're like, yeah, but no rock has that pattern. It's... and the two are just kind of arguing with each other.
Alan's just gonna like put a hand on Jason's shoulder, signify that that's enough.
All right.
Say, Lana?
Yes, Priscilla, was it?
Yeah. I presume that you needed help, right? With fixing however it is you got here?
I
don't want to pry for more information. Just a yes or no is okay.
Yeah, we're...
Well, this one over here, she gestures over to the arguing going on at the rock, happens to be a blacksmith. Could potentially be helpful in that regard.
I mean, not just blacksmithing. I know a bit of carpentry, a bit of, leather work, a bit of a general craftsman all around.
Lana will just sort of look over at Hayden with a sort of like shrug, like, that's up to you. Your ship.
In time, we shall see.
All right, for now, let's go see this mysterious archaeologist fellow.
You guys, you head into the town of Autumn Hollow. The town has kind of these white buildings with like the red stucco tile roofs, and there's kind of lanterns being hung up, and everyone is really excited, preparing for this annual harvest festival. And Ryder has to like kind of duck and weave and jump a few times. He's spry, even though he is like in his 60s. Yeah, still a rabbit folk. And he makes his way over to the hospital, and well, I mean, it's more of like a small doctor's office with like a few beds in the back than like a full-fledged hospital, but it is a nice place. It is also empty. He's like, wait, what? She was here. And he kind of hops over to the back, and in the backyard, he sees a few figures kind of standing in the sort of backyard of this place, kind of sitting. One of which is Rosalind. Would you describe your character for me?
So Rosalind is human-looking, but she's tall and being about 5'10", fairly thin but toned. She's got long blonde hair is up in a ponytail, and even with it being in that high ponytail, her hair reaches all the way down to the bottom of her to her waist. It's quite long. She's got turquoise eyes that matches it's the same color of a little pendant that she wears around her neck. She's wearing a cropped white shirt at the moment, and you can see she's fairly well toned and built, with a red leather faux leather vest that is bright red that she wears over that cropped white shirt. She's wearing pretty short white shorts with a leather belt that she wears over that carries her different adventuring gear, and she's got she's got red boots that go up past her knees, like halfway up her thigh, and her hair, well, most of it is up in a ponytail. There's a few wisps that hang around her face, and in certain lights, she looks almost angelic in some lights. And she's got a quarterstaff on her back.
Yes. Rosalind, you're currently sitting and meditating across from Harlow. Harlow is one of your 4 senseis. She is the Earth Flames Guard, is I think the term we're using. They're a very tall, like almost 7 feet tall woman with kind of this deep dark gray, almost like stone-colored skin, and this ruby on her forehead that is actually, part of her body and not jewelry. She wears very simple robes in comparison to even your adventuring gear, and she's kind of sitting very calmly, and she's asking of you to, like, hold a rock in your hand and to understand how it breathes. And you've been almost, like, banging your head on this metaphorical brick wall for a few weeks now because it doesn't make any sense to you at all. And they're like, a little faster, stand out. You still struggle understanding how the stone breathes.
Seems, with this rock, it's so hard, and that it's hard for me to picture that this hard, inanimate object is breathing. It's like, I know one of your... I understand... maybe I can talk with the more air master.
Ilma?
Yes. Maybe I can talk with her.
As soon as you say Ilma's name, she jumps down off the roof of the building onto the branch of a tree above you and swings in that branch. Hi, Rosalind! And she's just kind of swinging on that branch.
Hello. I'm having some difficulties. Perhaps you can give me some assistance here? Maybe help me make this connection? I'm a bit at a loss here.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't even waste your time with Earth. Earth's a stupid element. You should focus on air instead. It's much better, much better, much better. And Harlow just kind of raises
Do we see this as we're...
Yeah, you all see this.
I just sort of step forward and say, well...
I'm sure that...
I'm part of the flame myself.
And both of them kind of roll their eyes like Fiamma would eat you up.
She'd have to ask permission first.
She does...
What'd you say, Jialin?
I was wondering if I recognize them or, like, what they represent.
Roll a history check.
I'm sure by now I've been training with these these masters of mine for years now. Am I used to these like very differing personalities and trying to juggle them all, between them all? Okay.
You know that these four sisters are always kind of arguing with each. Well,
They
argue with each other over which element is better, and they all have kind of extreme personalities. If all four of them in a room,
Are they actually like blood sisters?
Yes, they are. They are blood sisters,
and I would know that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You have no idea who their mother is.
I got a 13.
But
13. You can tell by a blossom tattoo that Harlow has on her arm that she is part of the Red Blossom Queendom, which is a nation of almost entirely women. It's not the same as the society you grew up in, but it is you recognize them, like game recognizes game.
Say game recognize gay.
Game. I said game, but I mean that's not okay.
Gay recognize gay.
yeah.
Not an accurate.
That's not what I exactly said, but it'll be memed anyway.
Okay.
So, Rosalind, you also notice that there's a bunch of spectators now, including your nurse, Ryder.
So I see Ryder, and I see this fox woman say something about how she's partial to fire, and I'm like, perhaps we can continue this lesson later. I don't think I'm going to be able to focus with everybody watching me.
Harlow kind of slowly nods. It's about time. After the festival, we're also going to go enjoy the festival. Yeah, it should be fun. I mean, we're not going to join the tournament though. It'd be way too easy. I mean, jeez.
Perhaps what you have taught me could benefit. I look over to the nurse, Ryder, and say, "Is there a reason you have come into town?"
Yes. I just got this letter from your doctor. They had some family business, but they're officially releasing you. So you are fully healed as far as the doctor is concerned, and you are certainly free to leave. I mean, not like we were forcing you to stay here. Just
of course, but
just so
my
you know
treatment
officially.
is not complete. Okay, treatment is not complete. I have a question.
Yes.
Where is the little girl that I rescued?
Alicia?
Pull up.
Ryder
yeah.
kind of looks down sadly, and he's like, she's...
Yeah, Alicia.
Yeah,
How
Alicia
is
is
she
still...
doing?
She's stable, but she still hasn't woken up, and we've sent several letters to her parents' address, but so far there's no response.
Do I know where she's staying at the moment?
She's staying here in the doctor's office. She's... my mistake, everyone. There is actually one person in the beds that were inside. It's a small, unconscious, gnome girl. You guys just didn't notice her because she was too small and in the back. Much like how her parents didn't notice her.
Perhaps I can write a letter to my family, see if they'd be willing to take her in until her own parents can be found. Do you think, does that sound agreeable?
Certainly. You could go over. You know, Rosalind, that you could go over to probably a Pendragon rookery and have that mailed via Crow.
Okay.
What have you?
So,
What sort of treatment have you attempted upon the girl?
Well, best that we have a few. We have like medicinal herbs and things like that, and
Would you mind if I try something?
with my supervision,
I'm
I'm just going to go and rest my hand on the top of the child's head and use 5 points of lay on hands.
You
And
see
as
this burst of light comes from your hands, which also causes Ryder to jump a little. Like he hasn't seen this in a very long time. You see that color returns to this little girl's face, and she's breathing steadier now, and she's actually moving her head. She's not fully conscious yet, but now it more seems like she's sleeping and not like in a coma.
Can I grab Lana by the arm and pull her off to the side real quick, somewhere far away from everybody else?
Sure.
Can I resist this grapple?
Sure. Roll opposing athletics checks.
Can I use the help action? Because Jello's got questions.
I rolled really
For
poorly.
Sure.
Don't worry about it. Yeah,
That's
I
a
rolled
15
a
for me.
natural 3.
So, yeah, Lana, you were just pulled off and surrounded by Gialin and Priscilla.
and
What games are you getting at?
Pardon? I'm not much one for games.
Can I make an insight check? I'm honestly, right now, my gut's telling me that I'm looking at one of Wick's disguises.
Sure, go roll an insight check.
Is I capable of telling whether or not it was real magic that was being used, or if they're just trying to, fool us?
I don't think you've seen real magic in your lifetime before, so I don't think you have a frame of reference.
I honestly, I just healed her. I wasn't.
Priscilla, what did you roll?
It's a 13 on the insight check.
You don't see how this could possibly be like a deceptive type thing. There are some people who say that Wick is imprisoned, and you're not entirely sure if you believe those things, because it could just be a conspiracy. You...
I don't really know. Yeah, good. Sorry.
You don't see an angle that would be like, and I tricked you with this! So, it's hard for you to think that this is like Wick in disguise.
It's not Wick's MO.
Yeah, it's not his MO.
I don't know who you are, and I don't know what you're getting at. But unless you want Imperial attention on you, and trust me, you don't, you should probably keep it a little more subtle.
Speaking of subtle, Frida, you burst open the door to check on Rosalind, a new friend that you've made in town. Would you describe yourself for everyone?
Wonderful. Hello! Alright, so Frida Madagascar Crowley is a half-elvish gnome, standing at around 4'9". You see her long ears are pointed out from a frizzy auburn hair around neck length, and around that hair is a beaded headband with peacock feathers peeking out. You see she's wearing a kaleidoscopic eye patch over her left eye, even though she has both eyes, which are sapphire blue. She wears the eye patch to maintain focus, thinking that only looking out of one eye she can focus better that way. She wears patchwork bell-bottoms made of patches of nearly every color of the rainbow, and you see her top is an equally prismatic vest covered with this loose, translucent shawl with overly large sleeves and bands of many colors. And I guess she just runs in excitedly. Oh, more friends. Hello everyone. The name's Frida
Hello,
Madagascar
Frida.
Crowley.
How are you doing?
Quite
Good to see you
wonderful.
here.
Suppose I was just taking a.
I have some good news, actually. Doctors have officially released me. I am fully healed, done with treatment. I can leave. Yes.
That is wonderful to hear.
Yeah,
and the
you
young
see
one?
that she's actually
Am I able to
like
actually
stirring
see
and
the
moving, which you have not
child?
seen in the months that you've and visiting.
I'm gonna.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes,
This is
it's actually
wonderful.
thanks to this associate of writers. I'm assuming. I don't think I ever caught your name. I will extend my hand to Lana and say hi.
Lana,
I'm Rosalind Hendrell. It's nice to meet you.
Lana's still like boxed in.
I let go.
Yeah, while they're fucked.
Yeah, I let go of Lana's. I let go of Lana's shirt and kind of like try to fix it so it's not doesn't look like I just like shoved Lana in the corner.
Yeah, let's have like
Yeah,
a on her shoulder.
Lana Hearthsong. Hearthsong Balas. It's a pleasure, I think. I hope that.
What?
So
The
you've said
pleasure's
3
all
times
mine.
since
The
opening the
name's
door.
Frida Madagascar Crowley.
Quite
Yes,
DM,
I like
question.
yes,
Yes,
no.
yes.
Do I know Priscilla or Sister Gialin? Do I know either of them?
You've never met either of them before.
I haven't told you my name either.
Okay. And so, you see, I look straight into the eyes of Priscilla. We're about the same height, and I say, "I assume you're an acquaintance of a writer here. I'm, as I just said, I'm
Yeah.
Rosalind."
It's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance, Priscilla. I trained under Ryder several years now,
Ah, okay.
so
Well, you must have.
consider him something as an old mentor.
He is definitely someone that you can learn from. Not my particular specialty, but I have a different set of masters. But it's good to meet you. And then I'll look up to the Minotaur, and I'll extend my hand to them as well.
And she'll take her hand. Now she's like a little like weirded out by the sudden like energy in the room, but she still nods her head a little bit, and you hear like a little bit of a jingle from the jewelry, and she's just like, Yalin.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Which part of it?
Gialin?
Yes.
Just your name.
Yalin.
Gialin. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
And then I'm gonna step on over to the little girl's bed, so I can, and I'll just put a hand on her cheek and I say, "I'm really hope that you'll be able to recover, but I don't know how I'm gonna tell you everything that's happened when you wake up, sweet one." And you see her eyes go from slight excitement at meeting new people and seeing an old friend to sadness and then there's a flash of anger, like a split second of anger as she thinks back to what caused this this terrible stuff to happen.
Priscilla, I think you in particular can recognize that flash of anger that comes unbidden from a sad memory.
I kind of just recognize and have a small moment of sadness as I delve a little bit too deep into a memory and then recompose myself.
DM,
Yes?
would the energy that Frida gives off be similar to the type of energy that Fiamma or Elma give off?
Probably closest to Fiamma.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. The one that
Okay.
gets like really passionate about
All
any one
right.
particular thing that they choose to
Okay.
invest in.
Fiamma
So,
is the
this is not a
embodiment of
new type-
hyperfixation.
It's not a
Yeah.
It's not another new personality I have to get used to. It's one that I've already learned to adjust to. Good.
Yes, you learn to adjust.
Perhaps we can
Yes.
get out so we're not crowding this small
Mint.
doctor's office.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rosalind, I hope you don't think it was rude, but these two in particular, he points to Lana and he points to Hayden, who hasn't introduced himself yet, but they're wondering if you might know of anything historically relating to Hayden. Do you mind?
Oh.
Hi.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
I just short-circuited. Yeah, we are. Oh God, where to begin? We've had a bit of difficulties, so to speak.
I give a little chuckle at.
and among other things, we are interested in, well, generally speaking, the local history of sorts, but also the magic of this land. It's my understanding that it's been without some for quite some
At
time.
the
but-
mention of magic and history, her eyes just light up just a bit because that is like her big passion. I'll be like, "Well, what do you want to know? I can certainly maybe advise you if I've read about this before, if I've encountered this before. I've done a lot of travel. I've been traveling for a long time now."
Are Hayden's scars currently visible, or is he able to cover them up mostly with clothing, or how does we? Yeah.
I'll say, Hayden, if you focus hard enough, you can make the scars disappear temporarily. Do you think Hayden would have thought to do that before entering the room?
No.
Then
that would
yes,
not have crossed
Rosalind, you
his mind
see
at
these
all.
iridescent scars on Hayden. And Frida, you also see them. Rosalind, go ahead and roll me a history check.
Ooh.
Frida, you roll me a
for-
Arcana check with advantage.
Hey.
All right.
Real quick for the record, Hayden is not walking around
Yeah,
shirtless,
you
so
just
not
see it on,
the
like,
full
on your
extent
arm,
of the
'cause it's
scarring
on your
isn't
arms as
visible.
well.
Okay.
That's a 22. I think Frida probably gets a little close to Hayden
Lana
and just
will
like,
sort of
stares over
post
his
as
arm.
bodyguard as this person gets a little bit close without invitation.
Ow.
We have
my apologies.
questions,
Just
but we haven't asked
magnificent.
him yet.
I got it. Well, my father is actually a historian. I'm
I'll
sure
sort of
whatever
look over to
questions you have,
Priscilla.
he'll easily be able to answer as well.
Think
Maybe.
Yeah,
not
it's
here.
everything. I'm getting the distinct impression that being public about certain matters is
Uh,
not good in this plot.
Ryder
these
goes
plots.
and closes the doors and the windows.
Okay.
What did you get, Rosalind?
And I
I got
got
a
a
22 on that Arcana,
I
by
got
the
a
way.
13 on the history.
You get a sec. I also have a question for the dude.
Yes.
The last time that Frida had announced her name, would I maybe recognize the name?
Roll a history check.
It's like I know
Yeah,
know
you,
of
Rosalind, you
Frida's
know.
father because I've worked with him.
Get a 9.
You thought there's like a Luke Crowley who you think publishes some books. You think. You've never read them before, though.
No, I'm not muted.
So, Frida, with that 22 Arcana check, a word pops into your head. Like, even though you've read all these, like, history books, you, for a brief moment, almost hear another voice in your head that's similar to yours, but different enough that you think it's weird for a second. And the voice says, "Arcane hemorrhage," and you're like, "Wait, what?" Oh, and then you kind of like comb through your knowledge of Arcana and what you knew from like your dad's history books. Arcane hemorrhage is a condition that afflicts people who expend intense amounts of magic in very short periods of time. Like normally, like there's like the reason that spells require certain amounts of time is for the safety of the magical practitioner that is casting spells. If you release too much magic at once, it can be dangerous. In most cases, incredibly fatal. You gather that like Hayden's isn't necessarily fatal, but it is debilitating. And as far as you know, the only thing that would heal it would be a gentle but very large influx of magic into his system. More than like a single mage's own body can naturally produce. Like, almost like a blood transfusion, but like with magic.
Alright. I just pause for a second and just get really excited and say, This is an arcane hemorrhage. You're a caster. You cast a lot of magic for this to happen to you. And like she's just giddy
I am full
right
on having
now.
a panic attack and going and just like checking the windows and like making sure everything's blockaded and being extremely paranoid right now.
That's something we should celebrate.
Not at all. It's like,
It sounds
you're
like
losing blood!
Or saying aloud,
Is this like a doctor?
I've never
like,
seen anything
like
like
getting
it.
really excited about like a really rare disease that's gonna make their career completely callous of the patient in front of them who's suffering from it. Please tell me
Does
that
it-
Frida
does
pokes
it
him.
hurt? I'm not touching anybody. But like my hands are like hovering over
I
the
will-
arm, like ooh.
Yes, actually,
Lana will just sort
it
of take
hurts
a hand axe
tremendously.
and move Frida's
I can
hands
see-
away from the captain.
Frida, perhaps
Oh, I'm
we
no
take a
danger
few
to
steps
you.
back so we don't crowd all these newcomers.
Yes.
Sounds like they're not very familiar with this
Right.
area or place.
I take a few steps back and just pull out my tarot deck and just start shuffling it in like hyperfixation mode, just kind of staring down.
Frida, pause for just a second. Inhale, hold for
Yes.
3 seconds, and then exhale.
I'm just very excited. This is interesting. This
I
isn't
I get that,
usual
but we
here.
need to calm down. I've been learning how to do that with the meditation that my masters have been teaching me. Perhaps you should learn some of theirs. I can
Yes.
teach you just.
Oh, I do various types of like gnosis type meditations.
Frida, you are pulling
okay.
out your deck. Okay, you're doing a reading on
Yes.
Aiden. Roll me an Arcana check. Aiden,
Yes.
would you like... Do you
Alright.
basically allow them to do a reading on you?
Yes, I actually have something
yeah,
I'd
go
like to say to Frida while this is going on, if that's right.
What?
All right. That's
Before
a
we get to
dirty
that
20 on
roll.
that
Say,
roll.
Aiden?
All right.
Oh, I was going to say before we
Go
see
ahead
to
and
the results of
Yeah.
the roll.
Yeah.
If that's right. Frida, was it? I take it you would like a closer look?
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude. We don't see magic here really, and I've been studying all my life. Yes, I would love a closer look.
Well, all right then. Just be gentle, will you? And I'm going to reach out, just showing my left arm.
Okay.
I'm going to approach as I just continue shuffling. Just kind of captivated by
What is
this.
it that's got Priscilla so worried?
I'll speak up at this point. magic has been extinguished and gone for 100 years now from this planet. No, I don't think any of us have ever
Yes.
have any. There's very few people here that remember a time before when magic existed in this world.
Would any?
Yes. My father was there,
was,
and then Wick the Dick took it all away.
there
Would-
have
Oh,
been
from the whole
rumblings
planet.
that
Okay.
magic is awakening.
So why is everyone afraid and not
Uh,
excited? Wouldn't it be a good thing?
I would just like to point it out there.
Well, I'm
any of
excited.
Would any of you pull out a coin purse overflowing with gold in a shady alleyway?
Similarly, if you've never experienced something before and you don't know anything about it, it might be a little nerve-wracking. Imagine you've never seen snow before and suddenly it's covering everything.
Lana, who is a foreigner on a foreign planet, everything she's experiencing is brand new, is a little bit not following because that's not her own natural response to new things. But
Frida, you pull cards for Hayden, and what you get from your reading. Again, I'm not so into tarot that I can tell you the specific cards, but what you get from the reading is
That's all right.
someone powerful with love in their life, and that power was lost, is what you immediately get from Hayden. As far as their past goes, you gather that Hayden might be the most magically
Right.
powerful entity you've encountered thus far, aside from Wick, the literal god that you met a few months ago.
She's just jumping giddily, all right. All major
And,
arcana.
For their present, you know that
How-
obviously you know their affliction, and that's what the cards read to you is a powerful affliction. But there is a solution, and in the future, or a potential future of asking the question how do we remove this affliction? What you get is a person with powerful guilt directed towards themselves is somehow the solution. It's close. You gather the solution is close, but you don't exactly know what it is.
yay, it's Avalon IRL.
All right. Mhm. I kind of, I'm probably going to keep some of that to myself unless Hayden asks more, because the cards aren't set in stone, and I don't want to get Hayden's hopes up in any way, shape, or form.
This is an entirely new experience for me, so I'm gonna ask a few prodding questions, trying to discern, what exactly the cards mean and what is this practice. It's
I would
not something I'm familiar with.
Sorry,
this
I
is
was going to say I would
tarot.
like to
Sorry,
point
what
out
was that,
at this
Jillian?
point that Jalen is standing quite close behind Frida, watching over her shoulder. She's looking at the
I'm
cards.
just
She's very
oblivious.
curious. She's seen cards before, but she's never really seen them work.
Yeah. So I see some kind of solution. This is tarot. It's used for divination. It's kind of intuitive. You read rather a potential future or something related to your past or present in the cards. I'm seeing something involving guilt. There's a solution close, but I believe some kind of guilt has to be resolved for that solution to be found in regards to the hemorrhage.
I see. Well, thank you, Frida, for your insight. I'll keep it
Priscilla,
in
you
mind.
mentioned the Empire
It's my pleasure.
on our after me with what I've unveiled back there. Do people frown upon healing in these parts? I'm simply confused. It was a bit of divine assistance to the gods and them and their
Yeah, mention of the Empire, Rosalind's gonna just scoff and but say nothing else.
Generally speaking, the majority of people on this planet understand only one person has magic abilities, and that's the one that took away the magic from the world. So, it's a little suspicious that one person, of all of the people that we've all met, suddenly has the ability to use magic.
Not to mention that. Just being able to use this is going to draw the attention. Too many powerful, would want to use you.
Well, it's not even what I did, at least. It wasn't. I wouldn't call it magic in
I will say,
any sort of proper
none of you have
sense
heard of a
arcane.
Phoenix Queen before.
It's simply an outpouring of my mistress, the Phoenix Queen. Do you not have gods? Do you not have gods here that lend their aid to the followers and believers?
Most of us haven't heard from
No.
our ghosts.
Not anymore.
That would be the absence I feel then.
There-
The situation might be more grave than I believe if...
Suddenly, all of you hear fireworks
And-
outside.
All I'm saying is that you're drawing a lot of attention to yourself by using that. So just callously,
And welcome!
carelessly.
The annual Autumn Hollow Harvest Festival will now begin!
I draw my glaive.
And there's like cheers and applause wildly.
What is...
Do you mind if we take a short break here? Sure.
No.
Sure.
Oh, DM, I have one more. I have one quick question. In all of the time that I've been traveling around, how many any sort of magical items do you think I have discovered in all of my dungeon dive and all of my archaeological digs? How rare are we talking? Are or how
well, I
common?
don't think you've explored a proper dungeon. You've gone to like a few historical places that like have that kind of well yeah, you're basically the Arcane Institute or that you are a part of.
Are the Arcanus
Archive is generally speaking more interested in history. You've heard rumors, but like most of the time you like inspect the rumors and then they're like not magic at all.
Okay, so I haven't actually found any like magical items or things that have been enchanted to become magical
No.
items.
I will say, even with your
I've
low
never
roll,
found any.
there's something unnatural about Hayden's ring. Who knows?
With that
Yeah,
13 history.
There's just an unnatural vibe from Hayden's ring. Well, I mean, don't stop on my account.
I was gonna say,
We
I
like
feel
those here.
I feel like Rosalind's sense of duty is how this party becomes the Babysitters Club.
If you knew my backstory at all, you would understand why.
Yes. Anyway, we open back. All of you are in the doctor's office with Ryder. The festival opening was just announced. Ryder takes the moment to kind of say, look, everyone is... I know all of you have a lot of questions for each other and everything, but I will say, the festival only comes around once a year. We can... I don't mean to invalidate anyone's feelings, and, this is just a suggestion, but I was just going to suggest that, we could all go out and enjoy the festival, and, Priscilla, if you want to join the tournament, you'll have to sign up within the hour.
Where do we sign up?
Yeah.
I suppose.
She kind of slowly puts her glaive back on her back, and her hands are still kind of shaking from the loud bang as her paranoia was already through the
Joe's
roof.
just like put a hand on her shoulder, and then she's looking right at Ryder, and she's like, while giving Priscilla's shoulder like a squeeze to try to like calm her down, she looks right at him, and he goes, "Where do we sign up?"
I can direct the way. And Ryder will
Would I be familiar with what this tournament looks like? Do I know what this tournament is about?
I guess
Okay.
I should explain for Lana and Hayden. It is a combat tournament. You pair up in teams. The teams can be as many as 7. The grand prize for winning is 25 gold per each person that in the team.
Well, considering that I have 0 of this world's currency, that sounds like a good deal.
Might be useful to have a healer on the team after all.
Well, that would be nice. Unfortunately, I can't do that again until after I rest up a bit.
I could help you get to rest if you'd like. And she like taps the backside of her axe.
Lana just sort of cocks her head. No, thank you. After all, as you said, best to keep it under wraps, right? Wouldn't want certain eyes prying.
You can keep it under wraps without holding it back. You just can't see you do it. And she just shrugs. We can't make use of it.
I mean, fair, in private, it's just a reminder that when I channel the Dawn Mistress's power, the light of the dawn itself does emit from
Does
my
anybody
hands.
have a black
So-
sheet?
So are we planning, just to wrap my head around this strategy, we're going to go around in a bed sheet like children playing ghouls in the woods, and to hide the use of the divine intervention.
Only those of us that glow when we use magic.
Well,
Hopefully no one else is
Most-
using magic. That's it, right? There's only one
telling
person.
you, it's not really magic what I just did. I'm not casting a spell. I'm just infusing the divine radiance of the goddess of
I
rebirth.
hate to break it to you, but that's what magic is.
Right. And yeah, no.
Regardless,
No.
I'm
Okay,
more of a
well,
fighter
I'm-
myself.
I'm assuming we're walking across
Yes.
me?
And Lana just sort of,
Let's get to the town square. I already posted it in the maps, but I will post it again in the live chat. A general map of the town square for the festival. The town has kind of a crossroads, though there are no vehicles operating tonight. In the center of town, there is a large fountain, and standing on top of the fountain, there is a statue of a somewhat androgynous figure in these healer's robes. What looks like you would guess that this is almost like a doctor or cleric of some kind. Just standing in the midst of this pool, and their hands are stretched down into the water on either side of them.
Would I be able to recognize who this is supposed to be?
Roll a history check.
Would I also be able to roll that history check?
Yeah.
I imagine I'd be able
Yeah,
to.
go ahead. I'll say Rosalind with advantage because
Could I try
you
as
were
well, too?
studying the local history of the area for your last expedition.
I got a 16.
Okay, well, I got a 15.
23. So
23 for me.
you stand at the town fountain and you see this figure. Rosalind, you do know vaguely, and Jial and I would say that you also kind of know vaguely that this figure was a doctor of sorts who was very prominent to the town a long time ago. This was back actually during the Age of Magic. Frida, I think you remember the story a little better just because the way that your father, recited it to everyone in a very, dramatic fashion. This was Alexia Stone, was their name. They were the eldest child, of a famous sculptor from Autumn Hollow named Rohan Stone. And you know that they died in the midst of a war and that their father crafted this statue in their likeness and in their memory. And apparently, back during the Age of Magic, this statue would animate if the town was ever in danger and fight to protect the town. Theoretically could heal people. It obviously hasn't moved at all since, the extinguishing. But it is a fascinating tale. And your father told it very well.
I suppose I reiterate that in the most theatric way that I can to everyone else, and then just kind of look at the statue, kind of sad that it doesn't move anymore.
Such a heavy burden you can feel across the whole land. And who did you blame it on, Frida?
Yes, quite.
Wick.
Oh, that was Wick. The trickster god sealed away all the magic, and he tells everyone a different reason as to why he did
it. You called him Wick.
I met him. He's kind of an asshole.
What was the title you gave him?
Not
The
kind
Dick?
of.
What is a dick?
Oh, Wick the Dick. Yes, that is. Well, ma'am, it is.
Yes.
So here's the sign
mountain, and there's just this old lady who's looking at you aghast. Okay.
Yellen just kind of sticks a finger out from her groin area.
Gosh, no!
Lana will nod and say,
Yes, that.
I understand now.
Yes.
So
it was a
so
jest.
are you signing up for
though
the tournament?
I prefer people to call him that.
Are all
Yes. I'm going to write all of our names down.
I will not actually be participating.
I'm
in
excited for a
this
scrap.
We only have pens.
I
We don't
accidentally
have
already
pencils,
wrote
so
down
I'm
Hayden's
afraid you're
name.
signed up.
Can I scratch out Hayden's name? The captain needs to caress.
Yes, I am far too tired. The thoughts of combat.
I will
To
ask
be
out
honest,
of
it's nearly enough to
character.
make me faint.
Hayden, do you want to participate in the tournament or not?
No, just considering the direction currently going with Hayden, with still being mostly out of it from his injuries, I feel like it would not make sense for him to throw himself into combat deliberately.
I do want you to know that your injuries are kind of magical in nature, and that if you, I don't mean to stop you, the player, from enjoying the combats that I have planned if you don't. If you want to participate in them, I don't know if it's a metagaming or not. I want you to make sure you, the player, are having a fun time.
Oh no, absolutely. I'm having a
Yellen's
blast
just gonna
for sure.
look at Hayden, and she goes, "You could be our tactician or our."
Are Hayden's injuries still glowing?
I imagine Hayden would have willed them to disappear when going into a big public space.
I
Oh
was gonna
yeah,
say, after
absolutely.
the conversation
Yeah.
we just had, I would hope so.
I mean, lots of people like have multiple people sign up and then just kind of stay in the back because they want more money. It's how it works. I get it. Don't worry. You can all.
You're signed up.
Well, his name will join
yeah,
ours
I
so
can do
that
that then.
they
Just-
can receive a
Lots
full
of people
support.
actually
The
just like
payout.
step out of the ring like first thing you do. As
Yeah,
soon as you're knocked out of the ring, you're like out of the fight, and it doesn't necessarily penalize your team or anything. I
Jason's
get it.
still with us.
No,
Jason and
Jason
Gilgamesh were back arguing
See,
about.
then count me in.
were they like doing like dad bro like cart like a tool like comparing
They were more
toolboxes
like
sort of
just
thing?
art. Well, it's one of those arguments between like a scientist and an art major, like a science major and an art major, type thing, where like Jason is coming at it from
the
like
presence or absence of all color.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you could be sitting there listening to that conversation. I feel like it
Alan's
might
gonna
rock.
like look at the guy that is doing the sign-ups because he's probably like somebody who lives here. At least she would assume so.
yeah.
And she just like looks at him kind of with slightly squinty eyes, and you can't tell if it's because like she's trying to understand or if it's because she has hair in her eyes. She goes, roughly, if you had to estimate, how much do you think it would cost to open up a smith's shop in this town?
You ask the person next to the because I guess there's two people at the sign up and one's a guy and one's a the guy is like let's see, I'd say like probably like the property itself would be like close to 500 gold or something like that.
Well, that's a little unfortunate. She just leaves it at that.
Yeah,
That's all she
okay,
had. She
okay.
wanted to know.
All right, so it'll
When
be
do we
within
fight?
the hour. Be sure to enjoy the festival until then. And they hand each of you a flyer. This flyer includes a map of the festival on the back, and just to kind of help break down this map for you, all of y'all, all of the green places are concessions. There's different carts with like foods and candies, and there's obviously the big food area over in on the southwest. Each of the red places are a different carnival game of some kind. On the flyer, each of them have like a little square or space that that is blank right next to the game, and the woman explains, each of our game vendors here have a special stamp. If you collect at least 3, then you can return that flyer and be entered into our lottery for a brand new horse and cart.
Sounds useful and convenient.
Well, I mean,
Does anybody want to go with me to find stamps in the meantime? Because that sounds...
yes.
It would be delightful
So-
to do some gentle merriment
I think
before
that would be
fighting,
fun.
We'll
and I
say
will.
that each of you can visit a concession if you like, and do one game before a round of the tournament fighting begins.
All right, what are
So,
the games?
okay,
We got
okay.
shoot.
Those are mainly
per-
for me to to remember. Each of the games is a different skill on your character sheet. So there's basically one for every sheet,
All right,
or for every
Lana-
skill. And also the 2 games that aren't associated with skills directly, there is Whack-A-Knoll, which is a based around like making melee attacks, and there's the Shooting Gallery, which is based around making ranged attacks.
Lana will go to either the charisma, strength, or melee weapon attack game. If anybody else wants one of those, Lana will cede one of them too.
I would like to do the one that's related to.
I'll hit
I
up
can cover.
charisma.
I would like to do the one that's related
Okay.
to acrobatics.
So, okay, so we got one for the acrobatics.
Yes, 'cause I'm
Lana will
actually
probably
pretty good at
go
that.
for either whack-a-knoll or high striker. High striker is like when you hit a hammer with the thing and make the bell ring. That game. So one for acrobatics, one for.
I
Do you
love
want
that.
to go to athletics or do you want to go for whack-a-knoll?
Is there a is there like a
The
charisma based
charisma-based
one?
games are karaoke, and then there's the gambling tent, where you could use your charisma skills and gamble for money.
Oh no.
Does anyone else want to do? Because I feel like Giolin and Priscilla might also be good at the street games.
Real quick, like, will we have time to hit all of the stamps if we play?
To reiterate, the first round of the tournament is in an hour, and then they're gonna like break, and then we'll do the cycle again. So like then you'll have another chance to pick a second game, and then like a third game before the final round. Is how I had this planned out. So theoretically, there's enough time for each of you to play 3 games total.
Perfect. But I think Lana would actually do the karaoke since the Hearth song
Okay.
is my sort of
Okay.
eponym.
So we got one for the obstacle course. We got one for the
I
karaoke.
love that.
Sister Jolin, what are you? What game interests you?
What is Priscilla doing?
Yeah. What's Priscilla doing?
I'm gonna
Okay.
head for the athletics based skill.
What about?
Skill game.
Are you gonna go to that as well, Jolin?
I think I'm gonna go for the strength one.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, that's fair. So both of you are going together, and then Frida, what game interests you?
I can try for one of
that
the
is,
intelligence ones. Is there one for
the one labeled
Arcana or
QM.
History?
Okay, I kind of lumped all the lore skills into one, because
All right.
there's also an investigation game if you would rather play that.
That works for me. I'll try that one.
Okay.
I'll try
And
the
Hayden, what are you
the
interested in?
QM one first, and then maybe the investigation one another time.
I don't suppose you have anything for
Again, that's mostly the
persuasion or
gambling tent.
deception, intimidation, even.
So yeah, you could. Yeah. Heck yeah. Okay, so let's go with
Fuck it, why not?
Rosalind
Let's gamble.
first. Okay, sorry. Let me pull up the ox. Okay, so you pull up to this this wide open obstacle course, and it's pretty impressive. There's like even a pool that like people get knocked into, and there's all these different platforms, and nothing is moving quite just yet. But you see that there's these 2 absolutely ripped were-rat halflings. They kind of see you approaching. I should say, do you stop to get a concession of any kind before you play this game?
Do I assuming
you have
I
your
have
money
some
on you.
currency on me. I have money. Okay. Okay, then yes, I would like to stop at a stand that offering like lights, like light munchy, light munchy
Okay,
foods
so-
and or drinks,
Okay.
like beverages.
You do pass by the lemonade stand. There's an old gnomish man with a white
perfect.
shirt, yellow pants, and a leather apron. Howdy there, my name's Mark Jenkins. Would you like some lemonade?
I would love some lemonade, Mr. Jenkins. Do you have Do you have different flavoring
let's see.
options, or
I
is
have,
it just
I have
fresh
fresh
squeeze?
squeezed lemonade. I also have some raspberries and some blueberries that we can crush in there at the same time, and then you'll have like blueberry or raspberry lemonade.
I would love to have some fresh squeezed lemonade with raspberries added in. That sounds delicious.
Had to get these lemons and raspberries in the next town over. Tricked a long way.
Ooh, certainly.
That's 2
what do I
copper
owe you?
pieces.
2 copper pieces. Let's see what I haven't.
As you're kind of digging through your chain, she's like, you know what? I saw the entrance to one of them there dungeons. And he kind of like nods at you, like,
I'll need to. I'm on my way to do some activities, but perhaps I can stop back by later.
Oh,
and
certainly,
get some more information on that from you.
And you see that someone from the other
Thank
side
you.
of
I
the road
appreciate-
shouts at you. This person at like a tea stand is like, "Don't listen to Mark. They're full of it." And Mark shouts back, "I saw what I saw."
I will judge the information myself, but I will give them and the 2 copper pieces.
Okay.
So
As you drink that.
is that one? Ooh, okay.
You gain 4 temporary
I rolled a 4 on the
hit points.
D4. Oh, nice. That's pretty
Okay.
cool. Okay, I'll add that for temp HP, and as I'm drinking that, I will give him the 2 copper pieces, and then I will head. I'm gonna just take a quick look around. I know that my at least Ilma and and then the Erdzenasi Master are here. Do I know if all 4 of my instructors are here, or is it just the 2 of them?
So all 4 of your masters are here. You actually look out in the crowds, and you see that Fiamma is over by the ring toss game, trying to get the biggest prize, and they get 1 or 2 out of 3 rings, but then they miss the last one, and they're like, "Curses again!" It's like, okay. Leon, the water master, is just over by the concession stand buying what appears to be a brick of chocolate. You're not entirely sure what that's about, but
okay. If I happen to walk past any of them, I'll wave hi to them on my way and tell them that I'm heading towards the obstacle course if they would like to watch.
They come over and they're like, "Yeah, we'd love to see you before we, have to. We're heading out of town after we, we're heading out of town after the festival." Leon.
Yeah.
Sorry,
if
Leon steps forward and says, "Rosalind, I must ask you again. When the individual struck you, was the motion more like this?" And they throw their arm forward, relatively fast, a quick jab, or like this. And they do it again, but their fist is so much faster, it's almost like a blur of motion.
And so I'll answer the question.
You know
honestly, because
you know that it was closer to a blur of motion than it was a fast punch, and they kind of.
It was much closer to that second motion.
A little solemnly, they're like, and that means this individual has gone beyond limitations of a normal physical body. If that is the case, then they might have learned the arts of ki. We will we will have to take a very thorough investigation when we get back to make sure. I hope it was not one of our sisters. And Fiamma's like, I swear if it was one of our sisters, I'm gonna... And you see Fiamma kind of trails off, like that, like, you know, teaching...
Yes. They would be very, very upset if it was one of their sisters that
by
trained
sisters,
this
they do
guy.
mean the general
And
practitioners of martial arts, but you do know that, like, teaching... Yeah, you remember teaching a man
I get
martial arts in the Red Blossom Queendom is a death sentence. They... Yeah, strictly forbidden. One of their most forbidden things.
Strictly forbidden. Yes. As we're walking along, I will mention to them that I, along with some new companions, have signed up for
that should be fun
fighting
to watch.
tournament as well.
I'll try to watch, but Fiamma says, I'll try to watch, but I need to beat that game first. And they they're just glaring over at the ring toss game. I swear it's rigged.
Perhaps I can. I'm guessing that it is, so that they can make
Their
more
dirty
money.
tricks will
but
not conquer me.
I'm sure you'll get it. You are Okay,
Yes,
I'm
you've
assuming
gotten
by this
to the,
point we've
to
gotten
the
all the way over
acrobatics place.
to the
you see that it is
obstacle
indeed
course.
manned by like these two kind of lycanthropic individuals with like this they're both short with these almost like whiskers on their face, and one of them looks over at you and says, "Hey, I'm Chris. This is Scully. We're and we are the gym rats." And they both pose. "We're doing an exclusive deal on our membership, and to promote our new gym, we're setting up this obstacle course." And they both pose again. Neither you nor your masters are impressed.
And I slightly roll my eyes, and I'm like, is there a fee to participate?
One silver to play.
Okay, I will give them a silver piece.
Alright. Cool.
And
you just gotta make it from one end of the obstacle course to the other. And because you have your masters cheering you on, you can roll your you can re-roll a failed check one time in the course of this challenge. So, first, roll me your first acrobatics check.
Hold on, my phone is kind of glitching on me. Okay. You're fine. Okay. Here we go. Roll an acrobatics check. Okay.
19. You effortlessly
that's
get
a
past
19.
the first few platforms. It's honestly almost a little insulting. But then you're like, oh wait, this isn't for, people who've dedicated their lives to perfecting their physical body necessarily. And you get to you get past the platforms to this next section where you have to like run across these monkey bars, and at this moment the two gym rats, they like run on either side of these of the monkey bars, and they start like cranking these wheels, and these moving pillars that are made of foam start like swinging all around the space that you would have to go through the monkey bars. So what do you do?
Is the platform I'm standing on, is it stable? I'm gonna take like 5 to 10 seconds to try and see if I can time how fast these things are swinging back and forth, so I can time it correctly, and then try and run across after I figured out the timing of it.
Okay, for that, I will give you an extra D4 to roll to this next check. So go ahead and make another acrobatics check.
Okay.
You have one reroll.
Oh no! Yeah, I'm gonna use it because my acrobatics check was in that one. Yeah, I'm gonna use that reroll. You got to be joking! That is 2 nat ones in a row! So even with all of my pluses and the D4 added, it was still only an 11.
Okay.
How did
so
I do two nat ones in a
as
row?
you're monkeying across these, hand over hand, kind of focusing on the timing, one of your hands slips, and you're hit by one of the phone things as you swing, I think with a nat 1, you fall down into the water at that point. Yeah. I'm sorry,
Couple
but it's a
nat
nat 1.
ones
You gotta respect
on
it.
With the reroll. I fall in. Yeah.
No, you don't
So
take any
I fall in. Do I
damage.
take any damage at all?
Yeah, your run's over.
But I'm guessing my
so
run is
close.
over.
You did
Unless
so
I want to try
good.
again.
And your masters kind of nod like, that you had a good start.
Yeah. I was hoping I'd do well in front of them, trying to impress them just a bit, but do I have enough time to try and run it again, theoretically? Or do I have to wait until after the
I'll say,
after
for
the
the
fight?
sake of fairness, we did say one game each, so we'll say you could probably
Yeah,
try it
that's
again.
fine.
Sister
That's
Jellin and Priscilla, both of you walk up to
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
The Heist Striker game. You see that there is there's no one here right now, but in the desk in front of you, there's a little bell, almost like a
No hesitation.
Jalen, one gold bet between the two of us.
What'd you say?
What splits the bell higher? One gold bet between the two of us about which one's able to beat the other.
She strokes her. I guess she kind of has a beard. She strokes her beard. Deal. Yeah. Let's do it.
Someone.
No? I ring
you
the
hear
bell.
someone running over. You see this little halfling in a kind of a suit with really long coattails, kind of a plump man with a long mustache that is curled on either side. Hello there, I'm Philip J. Astorbogle, an entertainer extraordinaire. How would you like to step right up to High Striker? And they point to the High Striker game behind them.
Out of curiosity, am I taller than the High Striker?
Sounds like a
I'll
plan.
say no, just for the sake of fun. It's we'll say 15 feet tall. Okay, that's really tall, but yeah, let's say yeah. I'm sticking by it.
Also really tall.
Oh boy. Go ahead and take the hammer here, and which one of you lovely ladies would like to start first? It's one silver play.
Would you like to go first, Priscilla?
Sure. I can start us off. I kind of put my gold into put one gold into Jialin's hand and pay the ticket price. And I slowly start walking up. So what's it kind of look like? What does the game look like?
You take a hammer. It's kind of a heavy sledgehammer. It's not really balanced for combat. It's just like a heavy hammer, and you have to strike it down on this pedestal in order to cause a weight to fly up and ring the bell at the very top. You see, there are different levels on the game, win a small prize is kind of a third of the way up, and then further up about 2/3 up there is win a larger prize, and then grand prize kind of written around the top of the bell, ring the bell for the top prize type thing.
All right. I gotta kind of grab the sledgehammer, and I'm gonna kind of lean it up on my shoulder, kind of resting it across my neck. I'm gonna take 2 steps back and 1 step to the left
space.
of the target. How much room is up here?
It's about
Okay. How big is the target?
diameter? Well, a foot in diameter.
Okay.
That's more reasonable.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to tuck my right shoulder down, swinging my right leg up and over to do like a sideways flip in order to bring some more momentum behind the
I like
sledgehammer,
that enough to
and then
say
strike.
you can add a D4 to your athletics check.
So here's standard athletics before the D4.
Okay.
That is a 15 for a 20. On the athletic score, and then a 4 for
You
the
bring the
D4. So that
hammer
puts me at
down.
24. And it's kind of like looks like one of those
You
parkour spins when I do
almost
it.
flip and hit the weight. The weight goes flying and ding rings the bell. Oh, grand prize here! And they get out. There's a few different ones, but what kind of animal does Priscilla like? Because they are the prize here is a jumbo-sized stuffed animal.
Well, I really like
a
those
penguin!
birds that live up in the cold, but I've never seen one, so
A
I don't know what exactly they
penguin.
look like.
Right here, and
What?
they hand
What
you
are
just
they
like a
called?
giant penguin.
I love him. I need to come up with a name. And I kind of step to
Gialin,
the side,
you
and I've
step up
completely
next.
forgotten about the bet that I made with Gialin.
Can I feasibly say that, like, during the time that Priscilla was doing this, that I could have possibly, like, collected some crates and barrels and stuff and, like, created a little set of stairs for them
Sure.
and then climbed on top of it?
No. Okay, yes.
Okay. I would like to jump from the top of this, like, staircase of crates and barrels. And I would like to, like, cannonball into...
Go ahead and
the,
roll an
the
athletics
thing.
check with advantage.
Okay. The athletic.
To be clear, Gialin is
Yeah.
just using her weight to come down on this object. You said screw the rules. I'm jumping on this panel.
Not only is she jumping, she's probably gonna knock the barrels and crates down because she's also gonna, like, project herself, like, full force as much as she can get out of the crates and barrels. So it's like a fall, but it's also like a full-on, like, rocket launch minotaur with a hammer.
Yeah, so safe. So completely safe. Couldn't possibly go wrong. Roll your athletics check with advantage.
You said
Yes,
athletics,
with
right?
advantage.
I got a 21 both times.
You cost you you hit the weight into the bell, and the bell dents. Ding! Oh dear. Oh dear. You certainly rang the bell there. Not exactly playing by the rules, but I'm gonna give you your prize anyway, because I'm scared of you. So, what would you like?
She, like, what kind of animals does he have?
You, the player, will name an animal and he'll have it.
Okay.
I have all sorts of obscure animals plushies.
Jalen, like, draws a long blank for a second, and then she's like, I want a mole.
Here you go. And they hand you a giant jumbo stuffed mole.
She is thrilled with this, and she has to, like, pinch its nose.
He also gives a stamp for both of your cards.
Nice.
Wonderful. I have to get back to the ring toss. And he runs over to the ring toss game. Another! And, okay. So, we are moving to, Hayden and Lana, because you two are playing, Hayden's playing playing at the gambling tent. Lana, why don't we go with... What?
I feel like Giallan and I are just in the background arguing about who actually
Lana.
won that bet.
Can we just... This is a quick retcon. Before we go off, can Lana request from the Giallan and Priscilla, or maybe even Frida, so magic no-go, how do people respond to natural shapeshifters?
There are people with like curses like lycanthropy, so
would
like,
I know that, DM?
theoretically, someone might assume that that's what you have. Most people can't like fully shapeshift.
Yeah, I point over to the,
All right,
the
I'm
gym
gonna,
rats and I'm like, I think you'll be
shapeshift
good.
into a fox and take the karaoke stage.
You see, let's see, what do I have for the karaoke stage? I have notes for all of these. Okay. This one is actually 2 gold to play due to popularity.
Lana will put out 2 Vitoran gold and hope they don't notice.
There's this
with
tall,
using her fox
buff,
mouth.
half-orc guy with deep dark shades, a dark sort of button-up black shirt that they have tucked into these black slacks. You look down at the coins and they pull out a little merchant scale and they throw the coins on one end of the scale and they put some weights on the other. And your coins balance out, so they're like, and they just kind of nod, like, yeah, that's gold.
Yeah, those are the only 2 Vitoran coins that I have. I have no money. I'm gonna take the stage as a fox, and whatever song I'm doing, I'm gonna start doing a very, like, gentle melodic howling, like, kind of whistling. And then as I'm in the middle of the song, I'm going to shift into my kitsune, my humanoid form, and continue into a very elegant and beautiful melody.
Go ahead
vocally.
and roll 3 performance checks. I'll say you have 1 re-roll among them.
Alright. So I'm going to take that re-roll on the first one, because that's a 1. Okay, so 8.
I'll say, like, you transforming is unique enough to give you an extra d4 on these checks.
Cool. Then the first one is a 10. The second one is a 24. And the third one is a a 21.
2 over 2. So that's 10. Wait, hold on. I'm counting this one. So you have a 10, a 24, and a 21. Okay. So
it was yes.
So that's 2. That's 1. I'll say 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Go ahead and roll 10d8 or 10d6.
10d6. Yeah. That's a lot of ones on my d6s.
Oh no.
That was 5 ones on the d6s. I rolled 28.
28 silver pieces. That people just kind of throw into the bucket when you're done.
Oh, that's great. Thank
yeah,
you.
that was pretty
I
incredible.
appreciate it.
You
It was
haven't
lovely.
seen a shapeshifter in a while.
Oh no. Well, it's just
So was
sort
like
of what
your
I do.
grand, like
who I am. You
was
know.
like your father versed to be, a wolf or something, and then another one says, obviously they're a fox. Like, don't get it twisted. It's like, oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess so in my defense, definitely, I do still have a tail and ears in humanoid form, so it's not like I'm completely, like...
A what?
But, no, I'm a kitsune. I am...
I
was born this way.
Descendants of...
I don't really know... I don't really have any parents. I was Some people say that I am the reincarnation of a great being known as
why
you.
don't you roll me a persuasion check with advantage?
Can we hear this conversation?
You're at a different event right now.
It's a 19. I think you guys are at a different event right
someone
now.
Will, the people you're talking to take out, roll a d6. They hear
Sorry,
you don't
guys.
have parents, they never
3.
knew your parents, and they just subtly take out 3 gold and put them in your little bucket. So let's cut over to Hayden. Hayden, you are heading towards the gambling tents. Would you like to stop for a concession before you get there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you see that, like, in front of the tent.
No,
are
I'm just gonna
these
head
two,
straight over to the gambling
kinda
tent.
tall goons. There's this tough human woman, with kind of, a thick jaw and a scar running across her lips, and she's got these, she's got her head shaved on one side, and, next to her is this other, like, burly gentleman. They kind of look at you, and they open the tent for you, and inside you can see there are a few different tables, but the one where, like, you would best be able to utilize your, the one where you'd best be able to utilize your unique abilities to persuade and deceive is, the poker table. Okay. It is, let's see.
Ayo, bet. Alright, I'm gonna head right for it.
It is a 1 silver piece ante to play. Also, the dealer is.
Am I
not
able to
playing
discern
right
which
now,
one is the
but
dealer?
You see this, thin, drow woman, my apologies. They are a male. So you see this slender drow male with this slick green suit and, like, the a white shirt, and the sleeves are rolled up, and they just kind of calmly regard you. Would you like to be dealt in?
I'm going to immediately turn up the charm. Heads up for our lovely players and listeners.
Yes, please remind.
Feel free to interrupt
the,
me if this gets a little too
awkward move on
steamy for anyone's
stickers
comfort
and
level.
the stop stickers that you can post in live chat at any time.
But I'm gonna give the drow a very sweet look and say,
Certainly.
well, of course, I would absolutely love to play a hand or two.
They go ahead and roll 2d6. That is, that'll be your hand for this game.
Okay.
What'd you get?
Okay.
Okay. So here's
a
how
1 and a
this
5
game
for
works.
6.
For the sake of ease, I'm just doing, like, one player's set of cards, but there's, like, 2 or 3 other people at this table. So you can choose to re-roll one or both of your dice. Higher is better. But if you do, then you will give your opponent a d4 to their insight check to try to figure out what your hand is. You can also roll insight to try to determine how good your opponent's hand is, and then from there you can either use persuasion or deception or intimidation to try to get them to either fold or raise their bets.
Okay.
Okay.
So I am going to re-roll one of these d6.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your deception check.
Alright, I'll take
to,
it.
hide how good your hand is.
Oh, absolutely.
They got a
I'm
13.
just gonna put on
That's
a
the
nice
number to beat.
big pouty face.
They buy it hook, line, and sinker.
A natural 20 for
They
25.
think that you have a terrible hand. So, from here, how are you going to persuade them to bet more?
Oh. Well, I can't say that I'm quite familiar with this sort of game, but... I don't think I'm doing all that well. Whatever am I going to do with this?
This, early dude kind of leans over at you. In situations like these, you keep your cards close to the chest so he can't read them. It's best to, bet high, kind of intimidate the other players into backing off. That's a solid strategy.
Oh, well, I could do that, but I don't have any more money with me. Perhaps I could tempt them with a little time with me.
Yep.
For clarity, I'm offering
So wait,
services
are you offering this to
in exchange for funds
to the dealer or like the person across from
you said persuasion
at the table, your opponent? Okay, yeah, it would.
This
it
is
would
going
be going
into the pot, right?
Theoretically, go ahead and roll a persuasion check to see just how everyone at the table is feeling about that.
Yes.
They all. There's three dudes and there's this.
That's
one
going to be
woman
a
at the
23.
table. They kind of look to each other and they're like, "I think that's as good as gold." One of the guys says and smiles like, "Hey, I said something clever." And the three of them will bet among each other because now they all want to win the pot, as it were. They're already in a bidding
should we quantify
2 d20s, and that'll be how much gold is on the table. 29. Okay. The guy who leaned over is like dumping money on the table.
Let's go.
Like, the two others actually like kind of back down.
Apparently, we all knew that Hayden was a catch, but
they put their cards on the table and they're like, see, lovely. If you bet high enough, then you can intimidate everyone at the table. Look at this. And he throws down like an absolute garbage hand with like a single pair of twos. And I won the pot from all you losers. And he starts like scraping up the gold. Yes?
Hold on, DM. Were we going for like actual like poker hand type of thing, or just like high numbers? Oh, okay. I have. So I kept the 5. So I have a 5 and a 3 for a total of 8. I wanted to make sure that I didn't misunderstand what was happening.
12 different poker hands, so I made 2d6. So then theoretically. I thought it was fun. I thought it. No. You're.
Absolutely. I wanted to make sure that I didn't like make all of my decisions off a misunderstanding.
So.
Fantastic. So then, as this guy starts scooping up all the gold, I'm gonna put a hand out on top of his.
You
I haven't flipped up my cards yet.
A perfect.
And I'm just going to show my hand.
And the guy, like, you see his entire face sinks, and everyone else at the table begins snickering at him as he relinquishes the gold to you. Add 29 gold to your inventory.
Well, that's quite a catch, if I do say so myself. It's a pity none of you were quite on my level.
Kind of like nods approvingly. I could always use clever people.
Organization.
They.
What kind of organization are you referring to?
He motions, and the two guards at the end kind of escort the other people out of the tent. Just for a moment. My name's Fionn McConnell, and I run the local gambit circuit, so to speak.
Well, Fiona. Such a lovely name for a lovely individual. While I am intrigued and oh so tempted to take you up on your offer, I have some things that I must be seeing to, and I couldn't possibly know how long they're going to take.
They pull out a card.
Perhaps when all is said and done, I
and
can
they slip it
repay you a
into
visit.
your coat, and they say, "You change your mind. Give me a call. I just remembered that this character was supposed to have an accent. You give me a call." And they just kind of tap your chest.
Oh, I absolutely
That feels
will.
like a
After
reference
all,
to something that I don't know
can't
about.
resist a gorgeous
And
drow.
they just they motion for the guards to let the people back in. And with that, they also give you a stamp for completing a game. So with that, yeah. But sorry, hold on 1 second.
I'm going to pocket all my gold and walk out the tent.
So we made some bank. People got some stuffed animals. We still got Frida left.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think
excited.
that Gianna and I are just sitting down
what'd you
having
just say?
snow cones.
did,
I just said I think Gianna and I were sitting down
are you
somewhere
at all
having snow cones,
interested
waiting for
in
everyone
the
else to
bricks
finish.
of chocolate that some people seem to be buying? So
Jalen
okay,
is-
Jalen,
Absolutely
you
not.
go up to a dwarven individual. They say, "Hey, my name's Cord Sweetjaw." You see this kind of stocky and round, kind of plump individual with a neatly trimmed, thick, deep brown beard, wearing kind of this chef kind of outfit, and they hold out to you these bricks of chocolate, like literal bricks, and they're like, "This here is dwarven chocolate."
Really quick, like, is this guy like kind of like round? Does he look like a
Occasionally,
chef
yeah.
that eats his own food? Okay. Well, do I know anything about like dwarven chocolate? Can I like?
He will
Determine whether or
sell you
not
his
that's a
product. He'll pick
edible?
up one of the bricks. He's like, "Unlike normal weak chocolate, you have to really bite into this one." And he's gonna roll an attack roll against his chocolate. It has an AC of 14.
Can Lana come up here with my chef feet and be like,
Yes.
like culinarily
16.
evaluating this transaction?
So he successfully bites into this brick of chocolate, and it's really good. Actually, as he bites into the chocolate, and as he like pulls it open, you see that like the outer layer of it is like a super thick chocolate, but like the inside there's this beautiful like sort of chocolate mousse. It's like really soft, and it looks really soft, and it looks really appetizing, just kind of inside the chocolate. Each one is filled with a different kind of mousse. They're wonderful and beautiful, and also like, but it's a chocolate that makes you work for your reward, like a proper dwarf.
I don't know, Gianna. Didn't you say you're a vegetarian?
Do
You
you
should
have
probably
any
not
that's
eat any
filled with-
mousse.
Yes.
Fruit. But to be fair, vegetarians and vegans
Yes,
are
I
not
do.
the same.
He holds out a chocolate brick with like a single like strawberry pressed like pattern pressed into one of them. This is our wild berry dwarven chocolate. 1 silver piece.
How much is it?
Okay.
I'll take it.
Roll an attack roll against this chocolate. It has an AC of 14.
And
How do you
No, it's not meat.
how do you make the meat
it's
look
not
that soft?
meat, right? This is just
Yes.
for my clarification.
Annabeth
This
takes
is
a
just
D4
the pun that
psychic damage, not your
Annabeth is
character, but
making.
you.
I just want to be clear that way. Okay.
An attack.
What am I rolling again?
You have to bite through the shell. It's really
Oh.
tough.
What
I
am
guess like an
attacking
unarmed
for?
strike if you have that on your sheet. Proficiency. Yeah.
Just strength plus proficiency. Yeah, you're proficient in your arm. You're proficient in chewing.
You're very proficient.
I would argue as a DM that my players can all be proficient in chewing.
Here we go. Unarmed.
I actually have a bite attack.
Oh, that's 24.
Through this chocolate, and on the inside, there's like these, beautiful whole fruits that are like dipped in various different kinds of chocolate. It's a lot of very unique flavor palettes, and it's really good. It's tough to bite through the shell, though.
I would like to start swapping like piping and filling tips.
I guess
with
roll a persuasion check with advantage.
I'm gonna
chef also.
I'd like to down another 4 silver.
Also, it completely negates the next instance of poison damage you take in 24 hours.
Nice. I'm gonna buy 4 more.
These will last you all year round. It doesn't even melt in the heat. That's how great a chocolate this is. You could build a house out of these bricks.
She's still got her mouth full, and she's fabulous.
What did you say was your check log?
I only rolled an 8 because I've been rolling low apart from the 224s.
I can't reveal the Sweet Jaw family secrets.
Oh, that's alright. I guess I'll have to keep the Balas family secrets as well, and then will just sort of wave one of my tarts that is from my
actually,
in front of his nose, and then turn around and walk off.
You see someone across from you on the map. There's this one sort of this black square. And it's also noticeable in real life because in the world, this tent, this black square, is a Empire stand. There's people from the Empire in their uniforms here, trying to promote the Imperial Army and recruit people. Yeah, it's an army recruitment stand, basically. They're in their full uniforms.
It's an army
they
recruitment
have a few
stand.
Of their vehicles parked around, try to impress impressionable young people. And one of the people from the stand calls out to you guys at the food vendor and says, "Not sure why they're letting a rebel scum like him around here." And the person next to them just kind of nudges them, "Knock it off, Brutus."
Ellen
Et tu,
Ellen
Brute?
leans against the counter, kind of quietly asks, "Does he usually give you a hard time?"
I think it's because I'm a dwarf is the thing. Roll a history check, Gialin.
John, there are a lot
I
of
would just
people here.
like to hoist my great axe a little bit farther up on my shoulder, not threateningly, just
Gialin,
demonstrate
you
that I
know
can
that,
know how to carry this thing.
Dwarves, about 5 years ago, were the first people to, they're the first people who were conquered by the Empire that have successfully rebelled against them and thrown them off. So, dwarven settlements around the Empire are, free from their influence, and it is a big, sore point among most people in the Empire. And so the Empire, at this moment in time, doesn't really like dwarves because it was a mostly dwarven rebellion. So you get that is what this guy is implying, is I don't know why we're allowing a dwarf here because, the dwarves rebelled against the glorious Empire.
Ellen just kind of turns on this guy, and she's like, "Yeah, but have you had his chocolate?"
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. What did you say?
She turns to the guy that's commenting about the dwarf, and she goes, "Yeah, but have you had his chocolate?"
I don't need to eat the fried garbage at this place. I can't believe I'm wasting.
So if you haven't tried this closest thing we've seen to magic in 100 years, I recommend you just shut up.
Wait.
Is there
that you're sitting
is
at,
there
or
a
they are?
tablecloth on this table that they're sitting
The
behind?
Empire, yeah, the Empire have like a tablecloth, and you see that
The
like
Empire-
the
they
person in charge, the person with these golden shoulder pads, like grabs this big buff guy with this like Triceratops helmet.
I'm going to kind of subtly. Might you see my eyes kind of shift, and I'm going to try to use. I'm going to use Mage Hand from my Legacy of Cania to tilt the table underneath.
You
the
see
table,
that,
underneath the
yeah,
table,
the table-
tablecloth. Tilt the
roll,
table
I
back
guess,
on top of that.
Sleight of hand to try to disguise what you are doing.
Can I tell that she's
I-
going to be doing this?
I'll say.
Well, I
I'll
guess
say
we'll
no one
based on the
notices.
sleight of hand roll.
That's a 20.
So you flip, you tip the table over, and it's done in such a way that like the other two, the person with the gold shoulder pads and the Brachiosaurus helmet, and the person with the Triceratops helmet, don't see what happened, so they assume it was like one of the two kind of grunts wearing their Allosaurus helmets and their not as great armor. I guess I should have explained in more detail the way the Empire typically looks is that they typically they wear over their armor a black talberd with a Tyrannosaurus mark that serves as the mark of the Imperial flag in kind of these red and purple ring around their mostly black tabards. And they, each member of the Empire in general wears these black sort of dinosaur-shaped themed helmets. The different ones associated with different divisions of the military and different units with particular training. Rosalind, you would know that the Emperor is a half-elf. Basically anyone who grew up here, so basically everyone except Lana and Hayden, would know that the Empire, or the Emperor, is a half-elf individual. So yeah, the table tips over back on them, and the individual with the Triceratops helmet, Brutus, he just gets angry, like, gosh, dang it! And the person talking is like, Brutus, we need to recruit more soldiers. What we need is to show these hayseed bumpkins where their bread's buttered. And he kind of storms off, and and Frida, at this point we're gonna cut over to you and your game. I'm so glad that someone picked this game. Yes, you definitely. Yes.
All right, I'm excited.
Oh,
can I get popcorn first? Is there popcorn? All right.
So yeah, sorry. Okay. So yeah, you get popcorn from a.
I think you're cutting in and out
an
a little
elven
bit there, DM.
individual. They're also selling.
No, you're good.
Cotton candy, or elven candy, as some people call it, as like a joke against elves. Elven hard candy is what some people call it, as like a joke against elves. She's kind of thin and waifish with like a kind of goth attire, long hair dyed black.
I love that. I'll try to get some of that too.
Is totally uninterested in like, yeah, here. For the popcorn, that'll be a total of 1 silver for everything.
Oh, she's cool. All right. Thank you. How much for it?
Wonderful. Yeah, sure.
Oh, perfect. I'll pass it 10 copper pieces.
You can.
Thank
Yeah.
you. You're so cool.
You can add with these. You can add a D6 to the next ability.
I love
check
people
you
who
make
don't give a
within an
fuck.
hour. You make your way to. This is. Hold on. Let me make sure I get the thing.
I'll make my way.
This game is actually 2 gold to play for popularity. You see, elf with fabulous white hair done up in like a wild twist. This orange suit and a big green bow tie. They grab the mic and they grab a megaphone, and they say, "Who's ready to be the next contestant on Quiz Monkey?" All right. Go ahead and pay the 2 gold fee.
Me!
Yes, with your host, Monty Comet. That's me. All
I'll
right,
pass that
young
over.
lady.
You're
Why
so
don't you tell us
colorful.
your name? And they hold the megaphone up to you. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with our game, there are 18
I'm
seconds
Frida
on the
Madagascar
clock.
Crowley.
Each correct answer wins you a fabulous prize. 0 answers puts you in the cage with the quiz monkey, and they pull the cover off of this cage with this rabid monkey just shaking the bars, going. No, that's not the point of our game at all.
Can I play with the monkey even if I win?
Oh, yes. So this is how it works mechanically, is that every...
All right.
I'll ask you a question.
She just sits down and
and
smiles.
you can roll a knowledge check based on, what the question is surrounding. If you hit a DC 10, I give you a vague hint. If you hit a DC 15, I give you 2 possible
All right.
answers. One is correct, one is incorrect. And if you hit a 20, then you get the correct answer. So, what for your first question? What
All right.
is the capital of Ishkandar? Roll a history check.
All right. Okay.
You have no idea.
Oh no, I got a 9.
No! They do,
it's-
current sound effects.
So it's
What?
Scramble wagging.
Next question. You have,
Oh. Scramble wagging.
next round,
All right.
let's see, what, it would be, I guess it would be a question. What level, sorry, they'll pull up, a little,
Read the law docs.
they'll facts on it, and they'll what kind of spell was, I should say, what school of magic did the Cure Wounds spell belong to? This is a pretty low ball one, but go ahead and roll. If you don't...
Oh,
Does Ty know the answer?
all right.
It's either necromancy or evocation.
Shush. I tied 17.
Correct! And now for your third and final question.
Oh, it's
How many atoms
evocation.
in 1
Evocation.
kilogram of oxygen?
Yay!
You can roll either nature or arcana.
What kind is that?
How many atoms in 1 kilogram of oxygen?
Damn it! I've rolled a 3 twice. That's enough.
I want Taylor to have done the
mm.
mole mass conversion equation and not have
That
just
is
looked at something
incorrect.
like that.
The correct answer is 3.27695 times 10 to the 25th.
41.
Yes. This
Damn it.
equation brought to us by Jeremy. Please take me back, and they start shouting I know it was all my fault. I'm just begging for another
a
chance.
dumb
And
question.
the monkey actually like reaches out of the cage and puts their hand on Monty's shoulder and just like taps them like, "Hey, calm down, man." And you can see that he's just crying. What am I gonna do without him? He was everything to me. And hey, you can tell he's going through a really bad breakup.
Oh my.
No. Yeah, it's a fun quiz show. I got a
I'm
fun
sorry.
quiz show.
I didn't mean to say it was a dumb question.
anyway,
This was a fun
anyway,
quiz show.
for one
You're doing
correct
great.
answer, you can pick one of the following prizes over at our prize table. And they direct you over to a prize table. Either a book worth 25 gold, a spyglass, a
Yay!
musical instrument of your choice or tool, a pocket watch, or a phonograph. Alright, on what subject?
I'll take a book.
Sure, there's like a book on mythical, magical creatures that's like really old antique
Cryptids.
book.
Is there a book on cryptids? Or like mythical creatures?
Sure, kid.
All
The
right.
monkey appreciates
Thank
the
you.
pets,
Can I pet the monkey? I'm gonna go pet the monkey.
they like.
Hello.
So, I should ask right now because it is getting a little late.
All right.
Do you guys want to do the
Well, that
first
was worth
round
it.
of the tournament now, and then continue the tournament in episode 2, or do you want to call it here tonight? Right now.
I would
Okay.
prefer to call it pretty soon. 'cause
All
I
right,
have to go to
then
bed
then
soon.
we will begin the tournament next episode.
Yeah, I would also recommend calling it.
Yeah.
The lesson
Yes.
today is don't let your players loose in the carnival
Wonderful.
unless you want shenanigans. Speaking as another
Yes.
DM who has played a carnival session
so
in
we
this
will-
exact
We
server
will,
for these
as you
exact
guys
players.
enjoy the festival, you hear the bell ringing as an announcer calls, "The first round of the tournament will soon begin. Fighters, please enter the arena. Please step up for the matches." And with that, we will call. And with that, we
I
will.
think
bring
I was
an
the
end
only
to the
one
first
who
episode
didn't get a stay out.
Myth,
I'm
Magic,
sad.
and Might, as we hear rumblings of a nearby dungeon, or rumors that have spread through this town, and we wonder what the fates or the cards have in store for all of our players. Good night, everyone.